contact with these beings like myself. I'm an example of somebody. Obviously, I don't work for government, but that has the ability to access or be able to receive information from these galactic groups.
I see. And do you think they're reaching out because they're trying to help these governmental groups? Are they asking them to join the Galactic Federation? It seems, of course, I'm not part of the Galactic Federation, so I have no idea, but it doesn't seem like there's a representative of the human species within the Galactic Federation.
Not yet.
Why would that be?
I think the hope of the Galactic Federation is that Earth will ascend to the point where they can become members of the Galactic Federation at some point. And maybe they're reaching out to these governments in order to help prepare them for that process in some way. So maybe help them. So it's kind of like a various step, there's various levels, I think, to this process. So it's not like they can reach out and say, hey, you want to join the Galactic Federation? Because I don't think Earth is quite there yet. I think we're rapidly getting to that point, but maybe they're reaching out and, assisting them in establishing, peace and unity within their countries, so once, they are able to establish, that level of, I would say, higher consciousness within various countries of the planet, that's going to have an exponential effect on the vibration of the planet and just the rapid evolution of our ascension from, third dimension to at least fourth dimension. My understanding is I think you have to be pretty well established in fourth dimension before you can be part of the Galactic Federation. At least that's something that I saw someplace. I don't know if I saw this in the records, but we're not quite in fourth dimension yet. I think the planet is rapidly moving towards fourth dimension, but there's Earth humans that aren't quite ready for that yet.
I see. Well, it's very interesting, regardless, the whole idea of the Galactic Federation, and obviously the government, whether this session summary is real. I mean, it is taken from the library at www.cia.gov.
Yeah.
Whether somebody just made this up and posted it, or whether it's real, they're obviously trying to get in contact with the Galactic Federation. And it seems the message from the Galactic Federation is, can you please all get along so that you can join us up here in this massive hall? By the way, what does it look like? What do they meet? I see all these video games and like movies where they have this kind of federation, but you've probably seen it when you do your channeling. What does the actual meeting of the Galactic Federation look like?
Well, it's funny because I also do Akashic readings, as you very well know, and quite a few of my clients have had, prior connections to the Galactic Federation. So oftentimes, just through their memories, within their Akashic records, I see, various locations. I think they have different branches of the Federation. So there's like a Sirian branch, there's an Andromedan branch, Arcturian branch. But my understanding, and there's also, I think, various sub councils. Okay, so there's various councils that are connected to the Galactic Federation that are kind of like a sub council. So just to give you an example of one, I think the Andromeda Council is a beautiful example of. They're kind of like the UN of the galaxy, So they have representatives from different star groups. So even though it's called the Andromeda Council, it's actually more like an intergalactic council. And usually they tend to meet in biospheres. So I oftentimes in the records, when I see the the Andromeda Council meet, they'll meet in some sort of biosphere that's floating in the stratosphere of one of their planets in the Andromeda constellation. Okay. However, there's also factions of the Galactic Federation that have starships that are actually located right here in our solar system. So So they'll have, various starships that are located usually between, I would say, the asteroid belt and Jupiter. There's some that are as far out as Saturn, but the majority of these ships are located in that space between the asteroid belt and Jupiter. And they're kind of keeping an eye on Earth, and making sure that, things are progressing the way they're supposed to be. But oftentimes they might even have meetings on board the ship. So I think this description of the CIA record that you had me access kind of describes a space on board one of their starships.
Amazing. Okay. Well, at least they hit their target. That's all that matters.
Yeah, no, I think they did a good job. Yeah.
So that was a really interesting interview because I like that they're kind of waiting for Earth or the humans to ascend to the fourth dimension so they can join the Galactic Council, and they've been trying to reach us. And the government, she says, has been using basically channelers to, basically she's confirming that the government has been trying to use people like possibly this remote viewer or channelers to reach the Galactic Council or the Galactic Federation for messages or help or something. I don't know. I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah, totally. The part that I love hearing that you've heard from a famous movie is basically the famous series Star Trek is the Prime Directive. She doesn't say the Prime Directive, but one point in the interview she talks about how they don't intervene with human affairs unless asked, which is interesting. And I always wondered like if Star Trek was based off the truth of what that means, like the Prime Directive. I thought that was a really interesting point of view she had there, and also how that like all the people who are part of this council are 50% humanoid races, which is interesting. Which sounds like the bipedal humanoid look is pervasive in the universe. It's
so in right now.
Yeah, it's so hot right now. Bipedal is so hot. But anyways,
who needs more than two legs, right?
Yeah, I
true.
think it's weird. No, I think a third leg. Fuck that. I pretty much have one anyways.
Oh, shit! First dick joke of the night.
Well, I guess I'm the only bipedal person here then.
This is true.
Guys, I got a bit of a hot take on this.
Oh, stop.
I'm not a huge fan of this whole galactic federation-y kind of thing. I don't... Yeah. I mean, I'll just say that. But this thing that I'm not convinced that what the guy was remote viewing in the CIA document was some sort of galactic federation. It feels like it could be on Earth. I know Debbie said it. She said it sounded like a spaceship, but he's describing like some sort of stone structure, he likens it to the pyramid in this write-up
and
here.
The causeway. I mean, maybe he really is in Egypt.
Yeah, and it was like he starts off by he sees a lake, and it seems like, was this underground? Like, is it under the lake somewhere?
There is a massive lake under the Giza Plateau. I mean, that isn't actually, Matt, this is a really interesting thing you're bringing up. Because what if the Galactic Federation did meet on Earth at one point? And that's maybe what he was seeing.
Right. I mean, maybe there was like a group of extraterrestrial beings who used to, come together in some sort of way. Like, it doesn't say... I have something coming up later where they kind of play with the time frame of where this remote viewing is going on. So we don't know whether this is... He's looking at like the Galactic Federation as it is today, or as it is a million years ago, or in the future.
Yeah, but to play devil's advocate for a second, the pyramid structure we've seen over and over again on alien worlds, especially when it comes to contactees and channelers. They do describe pyramids in other worlds, and maybe pyramids here are just a reflection of other worlds.
Right.
Yeah, it could just be on another world. But yeah, it seems very terrestrial, not to say it could be Earth, but it seems like it's happening on a planet somewhere.
Right, it doesn't seem extraterrestrial in a way. I actually don't disagree with you, Matt, because my research, which I'll share in a minute, is it's not about pyramids. It's something actually different that's actually, I think, cooler. But anyways, go on.
Go on. Let's just dive on in.
Oh.
Why don't we?
Oh, okay. Well, before I get to that point... researching for this, I have a shorter segment tonight, but before I get into it, we're going to post a fucking amazing video of a cow supposedly getting abducted, then dropped back into the barn.
Oh, dude,
that was fucking crazy.
That was insane.
That was insane. Sorry. So this is a bit of a tangent. This really is not. I mean, it could be the Galactic Federation. Maybe they were hungry for beef or something. But I mean,
they did not want this cow though. This cow got like fucking turfed.
But this video doesn't. Maybe a lot of people that are listening to this do believe in cattle mutilations and the whole mysterious part of it. But a lot of people they don't think about it. But this video is so insane. Like, how do you explain that? How do you explain that?
You can't. Well, you tell us, people, because like it's nuts. Unless the cow was somehow floating in midair, I don't know. But yeah, so
okay, so transitioning.
So yeah, that's
Galactic
Federation. But back.
So what I wanted to do was I wanted to find something before the latest news. If you Google Galactic Federation right now, you just get 55 fucking articles from around the world talking about the same guy.
Or the Israeli,
Israeli guy that we talked about, that article from last week. So, or you get the Galactic Federation of Light, which is confusing because I thought that was the same thing and people were channeling it and they're throwing light at the end because that's what you do in the New Age space. But apparently from the source I ended up researching, which I don't know if he's right or not, that's a different thing. It's a different organization. So what did I come across? I started researching everything. I was Googling books. I was putting keywords all over the place, and I found some stuff that was interesting. I found it mentioned multiple times in UFO literature. It's definitely mentioned a Galactic Federation. But what I came across was interesting. I was looking through channelers, and I was like, I don't know. Like, you really got to... Channelers and, like, contactees, they really have to say something for me to be like, okay, I can go deep on this. I believe you, because there's so much bullshit out there. But this guy got me. So this guy's name... have you guys ever heard of the Tolec interviews? T-O-L-E-C?
Nope.
I think I have.
What this is a guy who apparently is I'll post a link on YouTube to his interviews. He's a human rep of something that... Okay, let me back up for a second.
What?
Let me back up. Because I'm about to reveal something that's even crazier than the Galactic Federation.
Sorry, I thought you were going to say human reptilian, and I was like, what?
What?
No.
Go on.
Talks a lot about reptilians, but I'm not going to go there tonight. So you think the Galactic Federation is new and crazy, a group of alien beings that are trying to help us or whatnot. But actually, they're just a branch of something larger, apparently, called the Andromeda 13, or the Andromeda Council, which is made up of 12 people. Sorry, not 13, 12. The Andromeda Council, apparently, is the head honcho, the head organization, the executive branch of the universe, and the Galactic Federation is just a branch that kind of like oversees our area-ish. That's what I got from the Tolec interviews, which I thought was interesting. Now, he talks about... His name is Tolec, and he ends up communicating with these people through telepathy, automatic writing, dream states, brief visions, and then he even says interdimensional travel of his soul essence into biospheres. Now, that's a lot I just said in that sentence, a lot of shit. What I want you to focus on is biospheres. And this one I thought was really fucking interesting. The biospheres are, I ended up doing some deep research, and I'll post some of the links, but they're really cool, dude. The reason why I fell into these interviews and thought they were interesting is because the level of detail is astounding on the Galactic Federation and the Council and their purpose and all that stuff, details of like the organization and the hierarchy and all that, but also the biospheres. I found like PDFs full of like giant spaceships like the Death Star, like broken down intricately into all these levels and how many people live on them and what happens, and they're all around the universe, and these just basically giant Death Stars. You wonder if Star Wars is based off this shit, but they seem, benevolent, like these federations. But
wait, hold on. Is this the one that she was talking about that kind of float in between Jupiter and Mars? She was saying that they're in these ships that are between Jupiter and Mars usually.
I forget. Is that where she mentioned it, Matt?
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
I remember she was saying all the different members of the Federation would meet on biospheres that would be in the stratosphere above one of the planets that were in like the Andromeda system or whatever. Something along those lines.
They're spread out everywhere. There might be one in our solar system as well. But anyways, this guy supposedly had contact in 93 and then didn't have contact for 15 years in 2010. Now he gets regularly contacted. So I thought that was interesting. I just want to read something quick from one of these websites that I thought was cool that kind of just gives you an overview of what these... Because at this point, like, what is the Galactic Federation and what's its purpose? Like, what's it trying to do? And we've kind of loosely defined it, but I just want to read this. This is the definition of the Andromeda Council, which oversees the Galactic Federation. They have the same vision. It says, this is from the website andromedacouncil.com, which is based off the Tolec interviews. The Andromeda Council is an intergalactic, interstellar, and interdimensional governance and development body of aligned benevolent star systems and planets of sentient, intelligent life for worlds in both the Milky Way and Andromeda galaxies. The Andromeda Galaxy is also known as M31 to the people of Earth. As an Earth analogy, it can be considered an interdimensional, intergalactic, deep space United Nations, which I thought was cool. And they apparently have our best interests